Thank you, Roderick. Thank you so much, Roderick, and thank you, Larry and Javier. This is really a dream come true. I was hired a year ago, but needless to say, it has been a different job since November. Lambda Legal is nonpartisan, but we are not quiet or shy about fighting those who hurt LGBT people and anyone living with HIV. And this administration is hurting us. They are erasing us from data gathering. They rescinded the guidance, as you know, for school bathrooms, which doesn't change the law. It just tells trans and queer kids, you're on your own. And every day they give another plum position to someone who built their career by attacking us. And all of this hurts our most vulnerable first. The kids in shelters and in the juvenile justice system, disproportionately queer kids, disproportionately youth of color, according to our brand new study. That's who gets hit first. So, we've hired the Obama administration's top talent and opened an office in Washington. The head of that office, Sharon McGowan, fought for LGBT people at the Justice Department, where she was paid with tax dollars. And now, thanks to all of you, she has brought her firepower to Lambda Legal. And she joins an incredible staff here. And I should say that although she is in DC, she is a real New Yorker, born and raised in Queens. And she's here tonight with her parents, Marie and Hugh. Our Washington office will fight the White House and Congress by first, stopping what we can stop. Second, slowing down what we can't stop. And third, publicizing all of it, telling the country what is really happening. And that's what we did with Judge Gorsuch. We're gonna have to do it over and over again, and we started with Judge Gorsuch. When he was announced, he was presented as a reasonable guy who even had gay friends. But we had already read everything he had written, and we had concluded that he is very dangerous for LGBT people. So we helped change the narrative. We wrote a detailed letter and got 18 other LGBT groups to sign it, and we submitted it to the Senate Judiciary Committee. Sharon made sure that every friendly senator had it in hand, and during the hearing, Senator Chris Coons introduced our letter into evidence, and he and others grilled Judge Gorsuch on his views on marriage and LGBT equality. We didn't stop him from joining the court, but we changed the narrative and we kept our community front and center. One of the reasons that we fear Justice Gorsuch is his misreading of religious freedom. Religious freedom is the freedom to practice my faith, not to hurt other people. And this is very personal for me, because as a Jew, I am safe in America because the Constitution protects me, because here no faith is singled out for favor or disfavor. The First Amendment promises that our government cannot give special permission to evangelical Christians to discriminate, nor can it hurt people because they are Muslim. And on this May Day, with immigration protests all over the country, we must be in solidarity with American Muslims, regardless of our religion or of how many generations we have been in this country. We must We must be, because as gay people, we know what it's like to be targeted and excluded because we're not American enough. We know what it's like to have your family torn apart so you can be red meat for a politician's base. We know how dangerous it is for one group to be singled out. And at Lambda Legal, we will defend the First Amendment. If the Trump-Pence White House issues executive orders that allow people to hurt us, Lambda Legal will sue them immediately. It's not all defense, though. Just 4 weeks ago, we won our biggest case since marriage. We have argued for years that discrimination against gays and lesbians is a form of sex discrimination, and now we are finally winning. Kim Hively was fired from her job as a math teacher after someone saw her kissing her girlfriend goodbye in the parking lot. Lambda Legal took her case, and last month, the entire Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals, by a vote of 8-3, held that being fired because of your sexual orientation is against the law. And this is the important part. Not new law, not different law. The same Civil Rights Act that protects all of us from discrimination because of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin forbids discrimination based on sexual orientation. And 4 circuits have already ruled that the Civil Rights Act protects transgender people. Of course, LGBT discrimination is a form of sex discrimination. As Judge Richard Posner said in our case, it would require considerable calisthenics to remove the sex from sexual orientation. The same week, a federal court in Colorado ruled that a landlord had broken the law when she refused to rent to our clients, Rachel and Tanya Smith. This is the first ever application of the Fair Housing Act to an LGBT claim. And altogether, this is game-changing, and we have more cases in the pipeline. Congress has not yet passed a law that expressly protects LGBT people nationwide. That bill, the Equality Act, will be introduced again tomorrow. But in the meanwhile, Lambda Legal is winning that protection in court. And as a community, it is time to change our message. Rather than say that LGBT people are not protected from discrimination at work, we must make sure that everyone knows that the law can and does protect us. If you are harassed or discriminated against because of your sexual orientation or your gender identity, you can take action, not just here in New York, not just in blue states, but everywhere. Lambda Legal is here to help. Thank you. No one else does what we do on the scale that we do it. From 6 offices around the country, we are the experts in the field that we created. We are your lawyers, and we are here to defend you. Thank you.